This is an absolute disaster for the Republican Party, and we need to turn back.
Hey, Donald Trump.
He doesn't watch.
Meet Boris Johnson.
Democrats tonight are probably breathing a sigh of relief.
And just look at this map, right? That's not a red wave. That's nothing like a red wave.
You could be forgiven for thinking last night's vote was about Donald Trump and the future of his party. In Washington, people woke up to poorer than expected results for that party in most places outside Florida. There, at least, Governor Ron DeSantis, Trump's presumed rival for the Republican nomination, impressed.
I think you could not have imagined a worst possible night for Trump or a better night for Ron DeSantis, who has really emerged as Trump's really top challenger at the moment. He is extremely well positioned to run, given his 19-point victory in Florida. And primary polling showing that he is kind of nipping at Trump's heels, and that's even before a campaign has even started.
It's amazing that history seems to be focused on those who lose.
For veteran pollster and election watcher Frank Luntz, the midterms were always going to be defined by public perceptions of the two men regarded as party leaders.
Americans feel this is a referendum, and the reason why Biden says that is that he knows he loses. His favorability is down, his credibility is down, prices are up, anxiety is up, and he would much rather this be a referendum on Donald Trump. And the truth is, Donald Trump would like this to be a referendum on Donald Trump, because he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that the only person more unpopular in America than Joe Biden is Donald Trump.
But although the current resident of the White House could breathe a sigh of relief at better than expected Democratic results in many places, they do still face the prospect of losing control in the House of Representatives, a pattern typical for incumbents in tough economic times.
So historically, across America, midterm cycles are always hard for the party in power. It typically flips. We know that. We saw it with the Trump administration. We saw it with the Obama administration. We saw it with George W. Bush. As far back as we can go, we acknowledge that it flips. It's a question of how to measure the bleed.
You mean he needs to be horizontal or
So how bloody will that be for President Biden? While it's clear now that the Democrats will not concede dozens of seats in the House, a small Republican majority is predicted and will pose its own political challenges.
I think it becomes nearly impossible to govern because Republicans will have, assuming that they do gain even a narrow majority, they'll have an effective veto power over legislation moving forward in the House, which is going to make it very difficult for Biden to govern.
And in terms of the Washington crew learning the new rules of the legislative game, it's not clear how far any new Republican majority would spend its time undoing achievements of the past 2 years.
A lot of the most progressive packages that have been asked for, pharmaceutical drug reduction prices and things like that, have come from House Democrats. What we know would happen if it is to flip, which, the tea is in, we have the tea leaves. It looks like it's going to flip. It is going to be extremely difficult for Democrats to hold on to any of that progress.
So a great sigh of relief from the Democratic Party that this could have been so much worse. But so many questions being asked today, from who will lead the Republicans into the next presidential race to who will lead the Democrats into the next presidential race, and whether the country will be governable in the 2 years leading up to that.
So while key results, for example, in the Senate have yet to come in, the countdown to 2024 effectively starts tonight.